Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Wake and Jake because baseball is back, baby. Wow. The New York Yankees and the New York Mets teeing it up for the Subway Series. Oh, that's the October episode. Today, Jolly Olive is here. It's the final tier list. I think some people are saying, thank God. I might be one of those people. We tiered hard to get us through the offseason. Thank you, guys. Thank you to Jolly. Go tweet at him or something. Follow his Instagram.
Go tweet at him.
And we are landing
back to Florida.
We're landing this airplane. Topical with what's going on. We are doing all the teams, and we are doing World Series ambitions? How did we label this last year?
Season outlook?
Last year it was called the Team Expectations tier list, I believe.
We all said the same thing in different ways.
That's better. Well, the two things you guys said was better than mine.
I agree.
And that's the only time I'll admit that. As we look at each team and we kind of line it up with World Series ambitions, significant playoff ambitions, we actually don't have the silliest category names on this one because it's a little straightforward.
We're serious.
And as we've done with all these tier lists, and if you've enjoyed them, thank you. Subscribe, share. They're still good for a little bit. The rankings should not change in the next couple weeks or so, but they will because that's actually how baseball works. Right. Austin Riley has a good April, and he's a top third baseman again.
Some of them did kind of change.
Michael Garcia? That guy. Stop thinking about third base, Jolly.
A lot of guys change positions.
How are you? How are you, Jack?
I'm good. I'm wearing a Mets jersey,
yeah,
which is making me feel alive.
Third baseman.
And I will feel dead when they have to face Paul Skeens and reality sets in. But until then, I'm very excited for Thursday. I've long said this. Opening day is the best day of the year at Jomboy Media. It's the day I look forward to the most. There's good eats. Everyone's in.
Yeah.
It's a party in the stream room.
A lot of jerseys. A lot of vibes.
It's just a really good vibes day.
A lot of baseball people that have made it through.
Right.
You know?
The long winter. Except it wasn't that long because of WBC. Like, that kind of
WBC crushed. Yeah. I feel like I'm behind on spring training, although you didn't really miss anything. Like, hey, McGonigal.
Yeah, that was huge.
Made the Tigers. No Connor Griffin. The other shortstop. Weatherholt, second base. He's playing second base. Mason Wynn has a cannon, people.
That's a good middle infielder.
I bought Cardinals stock.
I heard that. I did hear that. When I heard the line, I was like, yeah, sure.
Over 69.5, so I'm not buying a ton of Cardinals. I'm asking the Cardinals to not lose 93 games this year.
I think they can manage.
And I think they should.
I think they can.
Anyways, there'll be a lot of Cardinals talk coming up. No, that's a lie. As we've been doing with these tier lists, thank you, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. We've been looking back so we could go forward, and as we looked back at this, we kind of said, hey, let's run back the rows. There's also 2 or 3 standout performances on this.
Whoa.
The top tier, win World Series or fail.
Jeez.
The Dodgers, hey.
Did not fail.
The Phillies.
Yeah.
They lost to the Dodgers. It was tragic fashion.
They will be back in that tier.
They failed.
Rumor. The Atlanta Braves. Holy smokes.
It's not what you want.
People forget how bad it got there. Very interesting season coming up in Atlanta. So that was win World Series or fail. Make World Series or fail.
A cursed tier.
The Yankees, the Mets, the San Diego Daddies, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Texas Rangers, and the Houston Astros.
Oh, my.
So the final 3 did not make the postseason. Arizona's expectations were make the World Series? That might have been.
I mean,
they signed Corbin Burns.
They signed Corbin Burns after tying and missing the playoffs.
After going to the World Series.
Dumb tiebreaker, doubleheader day.
And I guess as the categories landed,
it's a little eye-opening. I think we gave them in Texas a courtesy 2023
right, from the previous World Series.
They're not going to get that this year.
No. And maybe the other problem was this next category is win division series or fail. Win division series or fail. Okay, I thought it was win division, which I was like, that's tough for some teams. If you're in the Dodgers division, per se.
I actually think we nailed this.
Win division series or fail. Baltimore, fail. Brewers, pass.
They passed. They
Red
did it.
Sox, fail. Cubs, fail.
Yeah, they went to
Brewers
Game 5.
got them. Seattle, pass. A nice year for the Marineros. The Guard Dogs, L.
Dude, there's 5 playoff teams in this tier and 2 in the tier above it.
Kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
Oh,
That's wild.
baseball happens. Huh?
This is where the fun begins.
Oh my god.
The next category was obviously mid,
Right.
where the Rays, accurate, maybe sub-mid last
Yeah, they
year.
were sub-mid.
The Kansas City Royals,
Mid.
were mid, unfortunately. But not this year, I don't think. We'll see. Detroit Tigers were not mid.
Well, they were not.
They were mid plus. I did forget how much they limped down the stretch to lose the division to the Guard Dogs,
Yeah.
that they then redeemed themselves by beating them and going 5 games with Seattle. The Minnesota Twins, maybe sub-mid.
I think they wish they were mid.
Oh my! I think the tier below this should have been on top of it.
So
for
this
sure.
is where we have a situation on our hands.
Whoa.
Wild card would be awesome.
Oh
the
my-
Cincinnati Reds, yes.
Oh my god.
They thought it was awesome.
They thought it was awesome. They got
yeah.
in.
No, we nailed that.
The San Francisco Giants
Would have felt the
just
same way.
missed. I guess there's a mid.
They would have felt awesome.
They would have felt
They
great.
would have felt awesome. The Toronto Blue Jays were in wild card would be awesome. They went to the World Series. They won the American League regular season and postseason.
You guys must have outvoted me 2-1 on that.
Okay,
must have.
don't spin that on us. That is
must.
nasty work.
You must.
The good news is,
Yeah.
the rest of the way, I think we did really good, but that doesn't matter because it was 500 would be hype. It was the Nats, the A's, and the Pirates. Woof. Nobody really knows was the Halos and the Cardinals. And yeah, I think that
They might be heading back.
Yeah.
nailed it. And then the final category was fail or fail. It was the Rockies. It was the White Sox. And it was the Marlins who deserve more
Oh,
credit than that.
yeah,
They
definitely.
deserve more credit than that. And at least this year we hope to give it to them. So now that we know where we've been, it's time to go forward. And I think we start with the cream of the crop. World Series or fail. You know what, Jolly? I'll take the first pick in this fantasy draft, and
Sure.
we can put the Dodgers back up.
Hot take Jake strikes again.
They're going for a 3-peat.
Yeah.
I know it's known, but I feel between CBA and I don't know, maybe World Baseball Classic and just I feel like 3-peat isn't being said a lot.
Right.
Am I just not living on the baseball internet enough yet?
I think
I am back, by the way.
We need to see them like dominate some bad teams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it'll be like, oh shit, like here they come. Like when they play the Rockies for the first time at Dodger Stadium,
Oh.
and like Max Muncy hits a ball 500 feet and it goes viral. That's when it'll kick in.
Okay. So they're going to pump someone.
Yeah.
And then everyone's going to be like 3-peats on.
Yeah, 8-run inning when they're down like 6-0 or something.
Again, my spring training on Twitter probably started 2 weeks ago, but I'm surprised I haven't seen more Dodgers 3-peat stuff. But again, I haven't been in the weeds.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like just it'll get hot when playoffs are here, and it's like, oh, we're really doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm fine with that.
Deadline.
So great first pick by me. Dodgers. Should be better this year. Is that weird to say?
93 wins last year.
Yeah, it's just tough to say because it's how good are you come the postseason and Roki saved their season. We're not doing that right now.
I mean, I'll say this. I'm curious to see who steps up and fills what Kershaw did last year for them in the summer.
So roll.
Yeah. Some of you had
He
to
was
take up
their
some innings.
biggest loss.
Yeah. Like he's their biggest loss for sure, innings-wise.
And maybe it's Gavin Stone.
It'll be they'll figure it out.
They're going to be great.
They'll be fine.
Jolly, I guess that was kind of not facetious, but what would be the first pick after the Dodgers for World Series? Try to do it. I know we don't normally do it like this, but who's the next team after the Dodgers?
This might be considered a hot take. I don't think the number 2 team is the Blue Jays, even though I think it's a goal of theirs, obviously, that they're serious about. It's the Phillies. I maintain that it's the Phillies because they continuously spend every offseason. They've kept the same core together. They just gave Christopher Sanchez a, we really appreciate you, dog, contract when they didn't have to.
Right.
Jesus Luzardo extended. Kyle Schwarber brought back. They're obviously going for it again. The back half of the team looks a little bit different, but year in and year out, basically every year since 2022, it's been win the World Series or fail. I think every year it's gotten a little murkier since 2023 when they had that lead on Arizona, but they're still going to be there at the end of the season because they're a top 3 team in the National League, let alone top 6, which is what you need to be. I think the division's kind of interesting this year. We all know where I stand on the NL East.
Right.
We'll say I'm wearing the jersey, so I'm biased, obviously. But it would be naive to suggest that the Phillies aren't going to be there. And when they're there, they got to start winning some games because the bank hasn't been the same home field advantage.
Wow.
It hasn't, and they need to overcome that.
I'm a Phillies fan. I put on Wake and Jake. I'm excited for baseball, and here's some Mets chump telling me the bank is empty.
I did not say the bank is empty.
I said that. I said that.
It's not the same home field advantage, which I think you can agree with.
I believe stats back that up, which that's not where I live. But Prop Finder, good home run research means knowing when pitchers are struggling, which hitters are locked in, and how they match up. Prop Finder brings it all together. Weather, exit velo, pitch mix, spray charts, and more. Instead of bouncing across different websites to find all your information, Prop Finder has it all in one place. Hours of research done in minutes. Prop Finder makes it easy to find matchups you like without digging through endless spreadsheets, stat pages, texting your buddy who thinks they know stuff. Go check out the home run props and their easy-to-use interface over at Prop Finder. And they got you covered. Strikeouts, hits, whatever you're looking for. All the data you need for any prop play you're looking for at the most affordable price of any research tool on the market. And Prop Finder is even giving our audience an opportunity to try their product at a discounted price. You can use code JOMBOY. 30% off your first month. There's a link in the description. Go check them out. Yeah, I guess I was trying to do a spin zone in my head. If things went right for the Phillies this year, they go to the World Series, Painter's a guy, Justin Crawford's a guy, maybe Aiden Miller or something. Like Bryce Harper has that quote-unquote bounce-back season, even though he was good last year. Like, is there any world where the Phillies made the World Series and they still feel great about themselves? That's not really how that city works. Yeah. It's part of the problem with this exercise, because I remember us now doing this last year that, the Yankees make the World Series and lose, and Yankee fans will be stoked. Not exactly how it works.
But if you're a Phillies fan, and let's suggest that they beat the Dodgers on their way to get there, because I do think if you're going to win the pennant, you have to beat the Dodgers.
You'd assume.
To take down the back-to-back champs and then still lose the World Series, I think would not leave me with a good feeling as a Phillies fan. But I'm also speaking from a perspective I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of a guesstimation.
Might be worth a shelfie text. If someone feels noble enough for that.
Your Honor?
I'm open to the conversation.
Ask him what he feels on a scale of 1 to 10.
I was interested to see who of us would reach for our phone. But I forgot BBD and Shelfie are champions.
They're champs. I mean, me and BBD are also champions. So.
Ew.
Yeah. If you want to be champs sometime.
Yeah, if you ever want, I can put in a good word or something.
Anyways. Okay. I think the Phillies are I think the Phillies are there. I'm interested to see how the board shakes out to see if there would be a line below argument, but I think you're right. Snake draft. We're not doing this the whole time.
Oh.
But I'm interested. I guess World Series, win World Series or fail?
Yeah.
Do you see one?
Yeah, I think out of respect, we have to put the Blue Jays there.
Okay. I'll take it for a run.
2 outs away from winning it.
I'll take it for a run.
I mean, Dalt had that great note on the last Talkin Baseball, which was no team, I think, has come back to the World Series and won it after losing Game 7, besides the Royals in the last 50 years or something.
Or 2014 to 2015 Royals.
Mets kind of mentioned, because we lost in 2015.
You helped.
Nice.
We all make history.
History.
But it's the most fun pick to make.
They made it to Game 7. They spent a boatload of money.
They reinvested in the team. They lose Bichette. There's a very interesting side to this whole Blue Jays conversation that I've done all offseason, and Blue Jay fans don't really want to hear from me, but it's how real is the hitting?
Yeah.
Like, they were first in batting average, first in on base last year. If you bring up the lineup, it doesn't reek of that. Is David Popkins really the guy? He's the number one most known hitting coach in the league right now. And it was...
Spend too much time around Trev.
I know. And is it part of the recipe or is it not? I guess here's what I'll say. Toronto fans, turn off your ears for a second.
Oh.
As we looked at last year's one, and we saw where we had Texas and Arizona, you and I did a little grimace. Toronto has that potential. So does almost any team losing the World Series. That's the stat. That's the stat you brought to the table. That Dalton brought to the table, that I brought to the table on Talkin Baseball yesterday. So I don't know. I believe it's right. I do think there's a little bit of a conversation of if this team were to cement themselves as just like a good team. Like, okay, they don't go back to the World Series, but if they win 93 games again, the hitting feels right, Vlad's a superstar, the pitching's there, if they almost climb up the ranks of how organizations are viewed, there's something there. For now, I think it's right.
I understand where you're coming from on the account of, they won the division by a hair, and then they went in the playoffs. They got hot. They went on a run. They were really close to getting knocked down in the CS. The reason I'm comfortable putting them here outside of the whole Game 7 thing is kind of because of the team they're next to. Like, think of the Phillies in 22. Okay. They emerged from, they were not a good franchise for a decade. You got to remember, 22 was their first deep run in a really long time. They made it to the World Series. They made a lot of investments after getting that run under their belt, and they've been back ever since, but they've never made it as far. But the way we look at them as a franchise now is much different than the way we looked at them in 22 when, like, Girardi was their manager in the first month of the year. So I think what you're saying with the Blue Jays is very accurate of, like, they're transforming the way we're viewing them of, like,
yes.
This time last year, we were like, is Ross Atkins going to get fired or are they going to fire their manager midseason? Like, who is John Schneider? Now it's like they're a destination, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll make it back to the World Series and win it. So it's weird to judge, but I think this is kind of a tier that I also codename as like, who are the best organizations in baseball right now? Because those organizations have the best chance to win the World Series.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it all checks out. I guess in a very genuine way to the good, my brethren up in Toronto, like I'm picturing Toronto loses the ALCS in 6 games. I think other baseball fans zooming out would be like, Toronto, where Toronto is at baseball wise is a pretty good situation. But I understand if my team went to the World Series, practically won the World Series, and then they reinvested, you would want those goals. So.
And if they make it back and lose again, Jays fans aren't going to feel good, right?
No, and that's the part of this exercise that we've been wondering how to stomach, that no teams fans losing the World Series. Really, I guess there's a couple teams. If the A's went to the World Series and lost, I guess there's a conversation there. Who else? BBD?
Shelfie replied.
Okay.
I asked, is it fair to say Philly's season is win World Series or fail? He said, I think that's fair to say. I do think they're better set up for the future than people realize. Sanchez, Luzardo, both locked in for 5 years and held all their top prospects, so they've got moves.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree with everything you said.
There could be, it's similar to Toronto. I think it would be, LA is clearly on a tier on their own on a lot of different levels, but I think if that is going to be the tier, these are the two teams joining them, and
I have it with these three.
It might be it. It might be it.
I mean, were you going to do the Yankees thing?
No.
Okay.
The Yankees?
Yeah.
The New York Yankees?
Tied the Blue Jays regular season record last year. Won a playoff series. I don't know. Went to the World Series the year before. Running back the same squad.
You mentioned that in the hallways.
You started it, though.
You mentioned that in the hallways earlier, but
that.
you didn't have it in a positive tone.
You started that.
Which I thought was interesting.
I said,
What did I say?
You said, why are you wearing a Mets jersey? And I said, because it's opening week. And then I did say I'm excited to watch all the new players on the Yankees this year.
And you
I
know
meant
what that
it.
was.
And I meant it. Like Ryan Weathers. He's new.
Ryan Weathers is new, and he's very talented.
Who's the reliever you guys love?
Respect Cade Winquist.
Sorry. LaGrange?
LeGrand.
And they're stretching him out still.
So
Getting so aggressive.
watch out.
There is like pressure on them because they said they were good enough to win the World Series
let's do
year
it.
and
Where are
ran
you
it
guys
back.
at? What result are you
I think
happy with?
well, again, I'm a true born in a different time of Yankee land that they're supposed to win the World Series every year or it's a massive failure.
Which is kind of where the Phillies are now.
The organization has taken a step back from that, whether they know it or not. That I think the honest answer is make the World Series. Like, obviously, any team that makes the World Series and loses, you're going to be sad for a little bit. The Yankees aren't the favorite in the American League. The Yankees have been to one World Series in 15 years. The Yankees can make the World Series, and if they get there and they face an NL team, they have a chance, and their pitching has a chance to be in a very different spot by the end of the year than it's ever been. But, like, their roster is not win the World Series or fail.
Yeah.
Like, that's just do the left side of the infield.
Oh. Ryan McMahon's a good ball player.
Hey, man, I'm in on McMahon.
I know.
I've been driving the bus, but
I
it
wasn't
can
gonna
go
say
one
that.
way or the other.
I wasn't going to mention the other.
I think they were a transaction or two away from being win World Series or fail. They haven't made that. I do think their deadline is built that way. But also, they operate as a smart franchise, which I shouldn't be knocking them for. But if the deadline comes around and they feel, if they're third in the AL East, Toronto's got the sauce again, and Boston or Baltimore pops.
Right.
The Yankees aren't going to put all their chips in. So I don't have faith in them, and neither should anyone. Tough.
This is making me upset.
That real?
Kind of. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a retort for it. I mean, the biggest disadvantage there, I think, is like, I mean, they have deep pitching prospect capital, but they haven't really like wanted to trade any of that. So I don't know how big of a deadline they could have. Whereas like the Orioles have always been equipped and they've just never traded anybody.
That's
and
the thing.
The Red
They're
Sox
not.
also have a deep farm. So it's like, if there's an arms race in the AL East with Toronto on top already, like that's not a good situation for them.
It would have to be. I don't think any of us have done. Who are the deadline names this year? Who are like the early? Who are the contract year guys? I remember
it's a lighter class.
I remember in previous years saying that it was a lighter class.
It's a decently light class.
No, and that's Jolly. It's a great point. The Yankees prospects have gotten so legit that I don't think they're gonna trade them. That's a problem. Anyways,
you want to hear something crazy?
let's talk in Yanks, please.
The best rental is probably Jazz Chisholm.
Okay.
I'm just saying, he probably is.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, that's because he's 50-50.
Well, Tarek Skubal.
Scooble, if it goes terrible. Some opt-out guys at the top.
Seattle Mariners.
I'd rather move off the Yanks. I think you're right. I think they've earned that. They got a taste of playoff success. They went to Game 7 with Toronto. They are talent-wise, I believe, the best team in the American League. They've reinforced that talent. Yeah. They have prospect capital. The Mariners are active and probably, if last year wasn't their first taste of postseason success in 25 years or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
they would probably be listed, have a conversation, be listed higher. But yeah, the Mariners have never been to the World Series.
I was going to say, so that's the biggest thing. They've never made one. I think making one in the first place is an honor. They're probably the easiest team to place on this list in terms of the top half of like, they were an inning away from advancing to the World Series for the first time. They didn't get there. I think if you get over that hump and kind of erase that ugly ending to your season, that's a win in and of itself. And then go out there and win the whole thing.
No, it's an interesting, I guess, I don't know. This is just where my brain went. Kind of where we're at with the Phillies. And Shelfie noted that they've got some potential young reinforcements coming that we could be viewing the Phillies differently in a couple years. If the baseball gods get Seattle this year, whether that means, I don't know, they're wild card and out, even the DS and out, whatever it may be, I'll just be interested to see how we view the Seattle core after this year. You know, like this whole Phillies offseason was kind of stale-ish.
Yeah.
Like we thought Bohm might be out. We thought, how are they going to shake up this team? I just wonder where we could be at with Seattle. Baseball happens fast. Like I'm not saying Seattle could win the World Series and we could say, oh, this is an amazing team with a superstar center fielder, catcher, and rotation. Or you could be like, you could be looking at the recipe differently.
There's some funk because, like, Cal got extended. Julio's had the extension. We kind of caught some flack because none of us drafted, like, the Seattle pitching in the units draft, and, like, that's because we saw the
That
numbers.
was an
and we were
F4
like,
thing.
eh.
That was an F4
But,
thing.
like, still, like, I think the perception of them isn't as, like, they're as indestructible as we thought, right?
Yeah.
That being said, it's just a really well-rounded team. Like,
Yes.
they don't have that. I think, like, when you think of the Phillies and the Yankees and the Dodgers, obviously, too, like, you have that base core of 3 or 4 players that it's like those are some of the best players in the league, and that's what the team is built around. Whereas Seattle, they have Julio and Cal, but they're just they're a complete roster in my mind. They're a complete 26-man roster. And honestly, when I'm looking up and down and trying to pick out who's going to win playoff series out of whoever makes it, I'm picking the team with the deepest roster because, I mean, at that point, you're 6.5 months into the season.
Yeah.
And I really did think Seattle was going to win the ALCS when it came down to it. And I think this year they can get over the hump for sure.
Donovan, Naylor, prospect capital on the way.
Is so good.
Should be, right?
Forgot about that.
Right? The only other Mariner knock, and again, we have them listed as a top 4 team here. This is me being polluted by the Jomboy Media office.
Oh.
Rest of the AL West sold last year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Astros could be back.
Houston somehow won 87 games. They're going to be an interesting conversation.
I had someone DM me. They were like, because people will be like, "Can you do a video on this?" And they were like, "Can you do a video on like the end of the Astros run?" And I was like, "They won 87 games and like missed the playoffs by a game.
Yeah.
They might just like win.
They
this
might
year.
just win 90 games and win the division again."
Jordan and Mike Burrows?
Yeah. Are you a Mike Burrows truther?
I think so.
Yeah, he is.
I think so.
I hate that you know ball.
I
hate it.
Anyways.
Juiciest rental at the trade deadline just might be Eugenio Suarez again.
God damn it.
Among teams
I
that
forgot.
like their season could go badly.
Because
the
he has
names
like a
that-
mutual option, right? Which is just
yeah,
like that's
which
nothing.
They've never happened.
Yeah.
Fine.
The guys that stuck out when I just did a quick scroll were him, Arise, and there's one more. Oh, Taylor Ward.
Give me
Teams that
some-
like could
Yeah, give me some 2 here, guys, because that's
Yeah.
making me a little sad.
real trades.
Today's episode is brought to you by Fabletics. You guys know that for a while, Fabletics has been my source, workout gear and more, and they are in the denim game. I just got, no joke, I think there's 5 pairs of jeans. Durable denim, premium feel, not athleisure inspired. And Fabletics, when you join as a VIP, you can get a pair of denims, $29. Come on, people. And they don't feel like that. This is just their launch pricing. That's what they just told me. I should have read ahead. This is their launch pricing, so you got to grab it while this is the rate. They've got a couple stretch levels, straight fit, slim, baggy, and more. Got a baggy pair of pants I've been waiting to try. Fabletics has incredible deals, people. An exclusive offer for us, the Bakers. Hell, that's the code. Head to fabletics.com/bakers. Take a quick style quiz. Be sure to select Bakers when prompted to unlock your 80% off. That's fabletics.com/bakers. Make World Series or fail, Jolly Olive. Who do you see?
Beebs, you mind punching out the board a little bit? I'm a visual learner.
A little bit.
I'm a toddler.
I have one team that's amazing.
I'm thinking. I mean, okay, to mentally. I mean, there's one team. There's one team, but I
think I have a team.
I feel nasty for not believing in it.
Okay.
But you've championed them this entire offseason.
Yes.
They got over the hump we set for them last year. How much more can you achieve that's not making the World Series if you're the Milwaukee Brewers, who have been an 86-plus win team for literally 10 years in a row? So, like, it's kind of go time for them, considering the playoff track record. I thought The DS win against the Cubs was a huge one because imagine how we talk about them right now if they don't win that series. That being said, I cannot wash the visual of that NLCS shellacking out of my brain. That was a shellacking.
That was nasty work.
Yeah. Especially that game 4.
Felt like Mizorowski versus the Dodgers.
Like the Ohtani game was fucked up. If that happened to me, I wouldn't be able to live it down. So you got to go out there and make the World Series.
The Brewers were the team that jumped to my head when we viewed the rest of this list. Because you're right, as much as Milwaukee is proud of themselves for becoming a very good baseball organization, and they should be at a certain point, it's what are we doing?
Right.
Like if the Brewers go to NLDS game 5, 6, 7.
There is no game 7 in the NLCS.
I meant CS.
You're forcing.
I was already thinking of the 6-7 joke. If the Brewers go to the CS again and they go and they lose, it's not golf claps for the punchy Brewers. Yeah. Like in a way, it's impressive. Like we can zoom out and say it's impressive, but no, for this team, they won the most games in baseball last year. Yeah. They did lose fastball Fred to your Mets. But I still think it's arguably the most talented Brewers. Ooh, would that should be one of the Jake Storielli graphic picture. Is this the most talented Milwaukee Brewers team ever?
Oh, no.
Wearing a Yankees hat?
I do think the 2018 Brewers were an amazing team that could have won it all.
It's because you're always thinking about Lorenzo Cain.
I'm always thinking about Jesus Aguilar, bro.
Oh, really? That was fun.
The Brewers have kind of painted themselves a little bit into a corner of they're never going to have the flashy offseason. You love the core pieces they do have. They have a system that works. They won a playoff series for the first time in a really long time last year. And then they just got completely outclassed by the best team in the league. So if you're the Brewers and you make it to, if you get a couple wins in the NLCS, like you still feel okay as a fan because it's hard to make the championship series 2 years in a row. Like, not a lot of teams can say that they can do that. I just think the Brewers fans are very sick of making the playoffs every year and being met with heartbreaking loss after heartbreaking loss. Because every time they go out, it's fairly devastating because they enter with a ton of expectations. So I can't say with conviction that this is the year they get over the hump, but like I'm not going to doubt that they're going to be there. Like to think that they're not going to be a top 6 team in the National League is ridiculous.
Jolly, you don't invite me to as many Jam baseball videos anymore because
you're busy.
Jimmy Norp's here and Ryan Cohen's got good energy. Has Jeremy Jeffress ever been picked in any of those drafts?
I think I took him once.
Because in 2018,
he was nailed.
73 games, a 1.29 ERA.
You know what's the most messed up thing?
Jeffress to Hater to Evil Knievel.
Oh!
Watch out.
Jeffress signed like so late that year, too. I really wanted the Mets to get him, and then they didn't sign him, and he had a monster year. And that was back when I had no one to talk baseball with, and I was like, if only I could have told somebody. So I could look so smart right
Travis Shaw with 32 homers.
Oh, my God. I forgot about Travis
What
Shaw.
was going on in Milwaukee?
Is Domingo on that team? Santana? I love Domingo Santana.
Santana played 85 games.
Hell yes. Braces and everything.
740 OPS.
Eric Thames. Met him at the World Series. Nicest dude. Ripped to all oblivion.
Somehow more ripped than when he played.
Looked like a giant walking muscle.
Half hour, we've been through 6 teams.
Sheesh.
Let's start chewing a little more instead of the 2018 Brewers. Shout out Blake Schultz.
It's fun. Shout out Blake.
Make World Series or fail. As we look at the board, I have one interesting team.
Oh. Twins?
No, that's nasty work. Jack Oliver. I have no more NLT. Okay. Let me tell you the 2 maybes in my head.
Okay.
And I don't think they get the line.
Don't say Tigers.
Cubs and Tigers.
No. I think we're good.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Because like these 2 teams need to have more postseason success.
Tigers you can spin of like it's Scooble's last year and you got
Tigers' expectations are high. They signed Framber. The Central stinks.
I know it's McGonigal's
Like
first year.
Jack Flaherty, McGonigal, Max Clark, Chains.
like Scuba last year, if they just got to the CS, are they going to be happy?
I don't know. That's really. Should we? I mean, Jimmy Norp's on a plane.
Text Jimmy Norp.
I'm gonna text Jimmy Norp.
As if Jimmy Norp pays for plane Wi-Fi at this point in his life. He is pocketing those $7.
Are you landed? Oh, message delivered.
Okay.
Big
Okay,
news.
big clue.
Will he respond?
Let's put them on win division series or fail as of now with the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs have an amazing lineup.
Yeah.
They lost Tucker, but they've added Bregman, which everyone has just added as a plus, which is a little bizarre, but I get it. And yeah, the Cubs are. Both of these teams obviously have expectations, but they haven't done anything in October in a while.
Yeah. I mean, the Cubs made some noise last year. They were down 2-0 in the DS, almost brought it all the way back. That locker room felt intense when I was there, but like in a good way. Of like because that was in February, and they were like, "We want to play tomorrow." And I'm like, you say that, but like, you felt it too. I loved Bregman for them. I got question marks about their bullpen back into their rotation a little bit.
Pitching, they deserve a little credit. The team has
They
been able
figured it
to
out.
pitch.
Yeah, they've made it work for
And
sure.
I guess here's my spin on the Cubs that feels different for Detroit. Although I guess I could use it for both. If the Cubs were to win if the Cubs went to the CS this year, you would say like, okay,
Yeah.
we've laid the foundation. Bregman's here. We have our core. We locked up our guy PCA. Like, maybe it's bolstering that pitching. Maybe whatever weakness gets exposed, the Cubs could say like, okay, we have the building blocks. Let's go win.
Yeah.
Detroit, unfortunately, there's the Scooble thing looming. You could give a similar speech with McGonigal or if Cole Keith takes a leap or anyone on that team. That I think there's an argument there. And I just think World Series or fail feels wrong for the Detroit Tigers.
I think I'm with you, but I'm curious to see what our Tigers resident says. And I do agree that if like the Cubs made the CS and took a couple games off the Dodgers, it's like, oh, like they're here, and now we can really go all in for next year.
Yes.
But right now, that still feels like I think it would be viewed as a positive season.
Yes, I guess that's an interesting way to look at it. In this simulation, if Toronto is who they were last year and they beat the Tigers, if Seattle is the best version of Seattle and they beat the Tigers, it's just kind of like, okay, firm handshake.
Right.
We kind of expected that. But yeah, Detroit and the Cubbies. Hey, I'm happy with how those two franchises are on the list because for a couple of years those teams went
Right.
off the board.
You want a good analogy?
Yes.
2014 Cubs won 73 games. 2015 Cubs won 97 games, made the NLCS. Next year, they won the World Series.
Look at that.
So the Cubs just
do that.
climb the ladder. Just climb the ladder.
Don't act out climbing the ladder.
That's how you climb the ladder.
For those on YouTube.
What they do before ladders? You guys know that reference? Come on.
Humans?
You never watch the Eric Andre clip?
I don't consume a lot of
Thank
Eric
you.
Andre.
Come on.
I see some clips of him on the internet.
Hannibal was almost
It's always
in our warehouse.
It's always a lot.
You're going to need to clean that
Those
up
clips
a
are
little bit.
intense,
Yeah, they're
man.
intense.
I don't watch anything that's not sports.
Okay. Get a job. Right?
Win division series or fail. The
Mets.
Okay.
They are the first team I thought of.
Talk about them.
The Metropolitan. Kind of a lot of... the mid placement at
That
first.
was a slippery hand
and
by BBB
and I
on the
almost
tier.
said
Freudian.
bless you. I almost did. Yeah, weird year for them. A lot of expectations, I think, because they kind of need to show something or else more heads are going to roll, I think. Also, transition year, a lot of guns for hire on this team. I think they're looking to just get back in the dance and make some noise. I don't really view them as like a make the World Series team, although obviously I'd welcome it as a Mets fan. But I'm not like saying going into the year I expect this team to win the pennant. But I do expect them to be a competitive team, make the playoffs, and while they're there, win a playoff series because I do think they're a top 4 team in the National League, and that means you should be winning playoff series. So I think the goal for them really is just returning to the playoffs, and I think they are trying to compete for the division for sure. They haven't won the division since 2015.
You believe.
I believe.
You believe.
I really do. I believe in the pitching depth. I believe in the top end of the lineup. I believe in the young talent that's going to get opportunities this year. But a lot is changing, and we got to see. Jake, question.
If the Dodgers didn't exist, would you have World Series aspirations?
Yes.
Okay.
Easy, yes, but they do exist, so that doesn't matter, Jake.
What if they don't?
What if they don't?
You know?
Right? What if they just win like 80 games?
That's not going to happen.
All right.
It's more so if the Phillies could clip them in a 5-game set.
If they get
Sanchez,
knocked out,
Wheeler, Luzardo, like,
holy shit.
that's the best bet instead of the Cubs trying to out-bludgeon them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Although you never know where pitching's at come October.
Dodgers really good.
Okay, I'm open. I'm open to the Mets this year. I know I have been tough on them this offseason, but it's because the puzzle pieces haven't. It can connect beautifully.
Oh.
It could not.
Oh.
And with this franchise, if there's a chance for not, I've seen the coin land on not too many times, Johnny. That's
unbelievable.
Honest,
that's so unfair. What have they done to earn that from you? Nothing at all.
And
Play
for the
quality
next 15
baseball.
minutes, we're going to relive
the
last
season
Mets
ends
season.
in mid-June. Everyone knows that. Everyone says that. I also have the Atlanta Braves in this tier.
Interesting.
What happens if the Braves don't make the playoffs?
I was going to say heads got a roll, but everyone's got a contract,
Everyone's got a contract, dude.
Walt Weiss is new, but old.
You know how scary it gets if they don't make the playoffs this year?
What's that?
You know how scary it gets if they don't make the playoffs?
I do.
Because everyone's just stuck.
Everyone's locked in.
You asked for some 2-year guys, and
The Braves got a lot, I think, right?
if the season like mirrored last year, come July, we might be having some very interesting Acuna conversations if they want to do really
I
reset.
forgot about that.
Does he have team options though?
I think it's
Maybe.
a team. I think
I'll
it's a
double-check
team
that.
option.
I'm guessing he does, but
Club option, yeah.
they've got buttons they can start pressing if they want to do some resetting.
That feels like a Manny Ramirez, Yoenis Cespedes type trade deadline acquisition.
Like they want to, you want to reset.
Stop mentioning Manny around Acuna. That's my thing.
And I was digging for fun names. That list isn't
I've
much
done it
better than the
all
rentals.
offseason.
Never done
I've
it.
done it all offseason.
Do I just
People are
feed you
sick
your
of it.
lines?
I'll send you the clips after this.
Perfect.
I won't. Naturally lazy. Win division series or fail. Win division series or fail.
The Braves haven't won a playoff series since they won the World Series.
Pretty crazy.
It's crazy.
That 2023 team got
Phillied.
knocked in the teeth.
They got Phillied.
They got Phillied.
'Cause they won the
back
East.
when the bank still had
Yeah.
money in it, as
Yeah.
you were saying earlier.
Phillies are since 23.
Back when the bank had cash.
Padres.
Padres. They're still, I think you know what's
Yes.
crazy? And I think Ryan would agree. I
Who?
think they're still more upset about 2024 than they are
Yes.
about 2025.
Absolutely.
I think 2025 already washed over.
And my standard Padres speech that now you'll get jolly, so I can
Great.
educate you,
Great.
so you can bring this to your forums.
Perfect.
The Padres franchise has been really good.
Yeah.
They're one season with expectations with Soto. They were bad.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, I don't know about the Padres. They've been great.
We're in the best era of Padres baseball ever. Isn't that crazy?
Can you believe it?
Ever.
It's a pretty good simulation for Ryan Cohen, and I don't know if people talk about that enough.
It clicked. It clicked his way.
Wheel of Fortune
Yeah.
tricked us into a job. It's insane.
I mean, I feel the same way about my simulation sometimes too.
Oh my god!
This is I wasn't gonna.
And
be
then
doing
you
this.
remember Trev's simulation,
Please
first round pick.
give me a break.
Okay.
I love Trev.
Is that the last for win division series or fail?
Oh God.
Like I don't think Orioles can stand on that
Sox
ground.
kid.
Sox are interesting, but there's still so much youth that I think
Yeah.
you could like.
I think they could be talked into like make playoffs cool.
I think wild card would be awesome. Needs to be above mid.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I agree with
I
that.
feel nasty and gross about that.
Let's I think we're at the point of the episode. Let's start cleaning up the bottom.
Let's clean up our bottoms.
Fail or fail Nationals? Right?
They have iPads.
They have iPads. So
Huge.
that's good. Colorado Rockies.
Just started my OOTP. Did you watch?
I did not.
What?
On what forum?
YouTube. Stop saying forum.
Okay.
Form counts at 2,
That's
and
twice.
that's enough.
That's twice.
That's 2 times too many.
I used it differently. Yeah.
White Sox.
Yeah. I'll be interested. Put them up there for now because obviously the White Sox have 0 expectations this year. They have slightly more than the Nats and the Rockies.
I like the young talent. I like Chase Mydroff, Kyle Teal.
That I may be interested in something a little more exciting but bad category. Because White Sox have exciting
This
but
is
bad.
going to be their best product in a long time.
Murakami, Teal, Montgomery. Like,
Murakami.
their pitching is just...
Oh.
No offense. The Twins, are they fail or fail?
They're kind.
Twins
it's
are
the next one I
thin.
was looking
Dude,
at.
what?
Twins
Next
are
one I was-
thin.
I know I made a goof about it before. That really bums me out.
Happened
Wow.
quick.
2 hitting on opening day, Josh Bell.
Had a sneaky okay year last year.
Yeah, no, he had a
Yeah.
good year.
So, and you love Luke Keeschel. It's all you've been
love
talking about.
Luke Keeschel. Oh, he's hitting third. They're in the bottom tier. Absolutely.
Are the Halos fail or fail? Are they?
Yeah.
Do they just live in nobody really knows for eternity?
God.
A little.
Oh, they
a
are.
little
Nobody
bit.
really knows, right?
Like they're kind of better than those teams,
I would pick
right?
yeah, fine.
Kind of their problem is they're never bad enough.
They've never lost 100 games.
Oh,
They're the only team that's
That's
never done that.
Insane.
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
I hope they keep that record forever.
we don't know about the Rays. A little bit company they keep.
Yeah, I would say nobody. Well, 500 would be
500
hype.
would be hype.
I liked the Rays more than I thought when I did
Yeah.
their team profile and projection. Arizona's in a weird spot. I love my Snakes, but
Did you hear who won the closer job?
no.
Paul Sewald.
Wow.
Yeah. That kind of fired me up.
Okay. But that doesn't seem
Oh, Jake, you got to
Prime.
look at this bullpen, dude. Paul Sewald, Johnny Loizaga
Yeah.
is setting up games.
and when he's healthy, he's
Oh.
electric.
It's good stuff.
That is good
You're
stuff.
not making a pitch for them to fly up the
No.
leaderboard here.
Their top 3 in their lineup is amazing.
Yes.
Cattell, Corbin, Perdomo. Everything. Carlos Santana's on this team. I kind of love this team.
Put them in 500 would be hype for now.
Yeah, I think so. That's fine.
Maybe Corbin Burns comes back midseason. Who knows? Marlins are 500 would be hype.
Yes, or nobody really knows.
Maybe mid.
Maybe mid.
I think the Marlins are mid, and
Are we doing
I'm currently
one team
saying
in
that as a
mid?
compliment.
Are we doing that?
No.
No.
No, we did multiple as
Okay,
last
okay.
year.
Before last year.
I like a lot of the Marlins.
Couple real boys there.
There's a couple
St.
real
Louis,
ones there.
nobody really knows.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
That's fine.
As much as I'm somewhat riding that
You didn't
bus
bottom
this
tier
year.
them. That's fine.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
I will let you talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates because I am maybe the lowest in the company.
Dude, it's me and you.
Really?
The Pirates defense is going to be awful.
Oh, that's right.
I really like what tipped me over the edge is when they signed Ozuna because the defense could have been figured out with the DH open, and then they signed Ozuna, and now your DH is clogged. So O'Hearn has to play the outfield every day. Brian Reynolds has to play the outfield every day.
They could have at least
Spencer
made that
Horwitz is
like a
at
cycle.
first. You already have Brandon Lau at second. Like O'Neal Cruz is in center. Like this might be one of the worst defensive teams ever.
So
And I think there's no way they can be a winning ball club with
The
this
on-
defense every day.
that's all nice. Spencer Horwitz is a friend on Instagram now. So that kind of takes priority to all of that.
You're a journalist.
Definitely not. I can, how bad my writing is horrifying.
Oh, come on.
I never learned how to write.
I like who doesn't like the Pirates pitching staff, right? That's not a crazy thing to say. I just
also think there should be a comma in that sentence. Like, yes, Paul Skeens is maybe the best to ever do it, and that's sick. Mitch Keller's cool. He's a friend, but like
he's also a friend. Yeah, that's true.
He's
I mean, let me ask you
his
this.
expectation for the yes, exactly, like a high floor.
Do the Pirates improve 10 wins from last year?
I don't know.
I don't think they do, and that would make them 81-81. So I think
500 would be hype.
I was saying even lower, but that's fine.
I think 500 would be hype.
I think people are.
It would be hype.
I have championed the Pirates in prior seasons when I shouldn't have, and this is the year where I'm kind of still like, no.
I see where it all goes right.
They're gonna have to bang
With
the
Skeens, Keller, Ashcraft, Chandler, and wow, this is electric. This is maybe bringing it full circle to your Mets. This is like a Generation K.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a scary thing to say to Pirates fans if they know what Generation K is.
Well, I think Pirate fans are already scared.
Bubba Chandler's real. Paul Skeens is amazing. They'll be okay. I think the real issue is
you
that
hate Jared
offense.
Jones.
He'll be back.
How dare you?
One of the nicest lads that's come through the office.
Follows me.
Yeah.
How about that?
Sweet boy.
If we're doing Instagram follows. That's enough Pirates.
I think 500.
Fine.
I think that's right. Hunter Barco looks like he broke camp with the team.
Okay.
We talked about him last episode. So, no, I think that's fair. I think the Pirates would love to be mid.
I think they're fourth place in the Central,
they're hunting
which
mid.
is right above the Cardinals, so that feels fine.
Are the A's 500 would be hype?
I would put the A's in mid. I feel like the Marlins and the A's are kind of a pair.
Interesting.
I love the A's lineup. The pitching obviously is a concern, but they got young guys coming up. I mean, that lineup has a chance to be literally like
I agree with you.
a top 5 lineup in baseball.
I agree with you.
500
I think they
would
need
be
to
a
show
5-win
it.
improvement.
They need to show it.
I think they need to show it.
There's a lot of I think,
Like
so
if that lineup, because they banged a little bit last year.
I mean, Nick Kurtz entered top 5 hitter conversation, so that's a lock. We literally ranked Shea Langolier as the top 3 catcher,
Yes.
so that's a lock. Soderstrom was in our top 5 left fielders, right? Rooker's hit 35 in a season. We've seen a good Lawrence Butler season. Jacob Wilson was going to win Rookie of the Year until his teammate did. And that's 6 hitters right there.
The pitching, man.
They added your guy, Jeff McNeil.
They did.
Your guy.
We haven't even mentioned Denzel Clark.
Who plays the best center field in baseball, arguably. I'm in on the offense.
What about the pitching?
Pitching's a question mark, but I'm never going to stop believing in Sevy because I fucking love Sevy.
Wow.
I love
I didn't know
Sevy.
you were a Sevy guy.
I
thought
Sevy
the
in
other big
24.
guy was the Sevy guy in the office.
Well, he's the bigger Sevy guy for sure. But we share the affinity.
I didn't know that.
We share it.
Um,
I also think Jacob Lopez is pretty good.
all right, I can put them at mid.
We'll adjust.
I can put them at mid.
I mean, the question becomes, do you think they're better than the Rays and the Diamondbacks? And I think they are.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of liked, again, the Rays. Again, maybe I just had old school Rays glasses on, that this was, I could be wrong, but this year I looked at their roster and I was like, this Rays team can raise hard.
Do you think they trade?
Aranda and Caminero can bang. If Chandler Simpson is something, Yandy's still there, and I think they can pitch.
They can definitely pitch better than the A's, but the bottom half of their lineup does nothing for me.
Nothing.
It's Jake Fraley, Richie Palacios, Nick
Right.
Fortes.
But isn't
Chandler
that what Rays
Simpson.
teams used to be? Like
Right.
that's
Right.
where
I just think you have Stockholm syndrome with this.
for sure
Yeah.
they're back in the
Like,
drop.
God.
I think they're going to be playing defense again.
Oh, they're back in the drop.
Yes, by the way, the secret to Cleveland being okay every year and the Brewers, they pitch and play defense. And that's what the Rays used to do.
the Pirates got
and that's
the
why the
pitching part.
Halos have never been good.
I know. Defense matters.
Defense matters.
Defense matters so much.
Um,
So much.
okay, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Wild card would be awesome.
All right.
Now, the phrasing here is very interesting. This episode is sponsored by SeatGeek. The MLB regular season is here. We did it. Not to mention the NBA and NHL heating up postseason. Even the World Cup is coming this summer. That'll be fun. And if you're going to any of those, you need to be with our friends over at SeatGeek, the #1 rated ticketing app. 35 million downloads. If you take a video of yourself counting to 35 million, I'll buy your seats. Instead, why don't you guys just use code JOMBOY10? 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. 10% off any set of tickets with promo code JOMBOY10. click the link in the description, download the app, have the code automatically added to your account so you could save 10% with code Jomboy10 only at SeatGeek.
Yeah.
I think the Texas Rangers, I'll hit an easy one.
Easiest one.
I think if it's like, hey, we're back on the map, we're good again, we made the postseason, let's go on a run. We traded for Mackenzie Gore.
Mm-hmm.
They have to make the postseason. Otherwise, it's kind of DeGrom's getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean,
Nate Dogg's getting paid a lot of money.
is that a top 6 team in the American League?
Talent-wise, it is, but
Because I got Blue Jays, Orioles, Red Sox, Yankees, Tigers, Mariners as 6.
I mean, I like their talent above one or two of those teams.
Okay.
But last year was so ugly.
Last year was ugly.
And if the hitting in that ballpark is just a thing, then that's something we got to figure out.
And the crazy thing, so they go 81-81, right? And they got like hot down the stretch. They went like 16-9 in July. That was when everyone on the starting lineup got hurt. Did you remember like who was in those games when they were winning every day? Like Rowdy Tellez was involved. Like
they called up the Cody Freeman. And
they had like a nickname
kid.
for it. I forget what it was.
Yeah.
Haggerty got 182 plate appearances. Like it was mercenaries.
Yeah.
So like the actual Rangers need to do it this year. Very curious about that to see how that turns out.
Give me 130 from Seager and see what happens.
When's the last time you did that?
2023.
2022.
Okay. Let's round it.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good placement for them because I think they're better than the A's, and I think they need to make the playoffs to. Because otherwise, that every year that 2023 team gets more and more outlierish.
Easy.
I'm not saying that they won. What am I going to say? But it's just crazy.
I have another easy one.
Okay.
The San Francisco Giants.
Absolutely.
That's just honest. With the amount of moves they've made, they need to make a postseason.
Get Logan Webb in a playoff game, and you will win the playoff game. Just get him on the mound.
They've paid guys, Buster Posey, the whole thing. They need to make a postseason. And I think it's a much easier conversation than some of the rest of the teams. Because I found my first 54-minute in trip up.
Okay.
The Cincinnati Reds. Are they just happy making the wild card again?
Well, before you do that, because I want to talk about Logan Webb again.
Great.
Sorry.
What, that he's led in innings pitched the last 3 years?
Right.
What, that he's improved his K rate?
His one playoff series when he was 24 years old against the 106-win Dodgers in 2021, 14 2/3 innings, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 17 strikeouts. And we have not seen him pitch in the postseason in 5 years. I need to see him in the postseason. I need it. I need it.
Gave us a nice dap up at the WBC.
That's awesome.
That's, again, how I measure things.
Right. You don't do, like, quotes or anything.
No, Spencer Horwitz.
You just shake hands.
Insta DM.
Kiss babies.
Logan Webb. And he came out to the field with a football, which that's double points.
Did you say hi to Nolan McClain and Clay Holmes?
Double points. I didn't see either of them. Okay. We had pretty limited access, which was weird because...
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
They, turned it way up for USDR because that was, the craziest game
You're probably
ever.
viewed as, a threat.
MLB is a partner with us. Trevor Plouffe is a former player that calls games.
Not interested.
Not doing that right now. Clay Holmes said hi to me on the street once.
Huge.
Different size creatures.
He said we need more Mets fans at Jomboy Media. How about that? The Reds you were talking about?
The Cincinnati Reds.
You're obsessed with the Reds.
Making the wild card again, would that be awesome?
I guess. I mean, I don't think the Reds are going to win the division series this year. The Hunter Green injury really dampened expectations.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Okay, then put wild card would be awesome because then, if you're the Cincinnati Reds, you could say, hey, we've been to the postseason back-to-back years.
Right.
The formula's kind of working.
Missing a month or whatever it is.
Hunter Green was a good note.
They won 2 more games than the Rangers last year.
Right.
But they made the playoffs.
God, that row. Rangers, Giants, Reds. Although, would that not feel like the Toronto row last year, basically?
Right. I mean, I don't
that literally was. We just slid it up.
Yeah. But, do you think
because there's talent.
Do you think one of those teams could make it to the World Series?
Yes. Texas did it.
Texas literally did it. That's true. It seems crazy now, but
My
it's just because the
soul
season
wants
hasn't
to
started.
like the Giants.
I think of the three, I would pick the Giants. If they just get into the dance, I think they have so much talent that they could win a series.
I mean, of those teams, the Reds have the most Blue Jays energy. That there's like a lot of guys that could figure it out.
Are we fans of
Noel
these
V.
three
Marte.
teams? You love
Yes,
Noel
these
V.
teams.
Marte.
These are the teams that break my heart every year.
Matt McClain,
Matt
age
McClain.
26, shoulder injury in the rearview mirror, 5-WAR season. Book it. Book it. No, don't book that.
Kansas City Royals wild card would be awesome. It's tricky.
It is tricky. I have a weird perspective on the Royals because they made the DS in 24 against your Yanks. But that was the year the White Sox kind of inflated everybody in the AL Central. So a bunch of AL Central teams made the playoffs. And then the White Sox played better baseball. And then those teams didn't make the playoffs. So I don't really know how to feel about the Royals. They didn't really have like a super sexy offseason. They have a really good rotation. I think Jack Caglione will get better because he was such a baby last year that he has to get better. Top three is really good. I think they're better than the Guardians, so I think the wild card would be awesome, right?
It is a weird mental gymnastics that it seems like a lot of people are on the Royals bandwagon. It's like if Caglione works, Witt is a superstar, Vinny P, they moved in the fences, the pitching,
Michael.
Cole Reagans is back, that they have a hype train that you could see them on the Win Division Series line.
Yeah.
But I do think going to another postseason after not last year would be a win for Kansas City, and I think that's honest.
Because what? So Vinny's extended now, Michael's extended now, Witt is extended now. I think making the playoffs right after doing those things.
Yeah.
I mean, Witt's kind of older, but still, you know what I mean. 82 and 80. So this is basically the 500 and a little bit above it tier
Yes.
from last year.
Teams I like.
Teams I like. Okay, these are
brutal.
These make sense as the last four teams. This makes perfect sense.
The Baltimore Orioles. So this team,
I have no idea.
My eyeballs just started to hurt. This team was supposed to be in their golden years. The rebuild worked. Everything went awry for the first 2 months of the season. Then it kind of stabilized.
Yeah.
Tony Mansolino, we don't forget.
All right, here's the question. So the 23 Orioles made it to the DS, got swept. The 24 Orioles
Didn't win a playoff game, right?
They have not won a playoff game with this new era of Orioles baseball. 24, they got swept in the wild card round by the Royals. If they make it back, is that enough? Because you're basically just back at square one with where you were before, except that was after a year that was supremely disappointing.
Yeah.
So if you make it back to the playoffs and you lose in the first round again, do you feel good as an Orioles fan? I don't think you do.
I don't think you do.
So I think they have to be in win division series or fail.
I think you're right, and
I think it's like super scary.
I didn't expect that, not as a shot at you, as a shot of that shouldn't be the Orioles' expectations, but it also should be.
Spent a lot of money.
Like them and the Braves on the same line.
They feel like
those are the two teams that had expectations last year and then fell off horribly. Two teams I bought in on. That I think you're right. Like if the Orioles make it to the wild card, it's kind of like, okay, we were supposed to be past this.
Right.
Like this shouldn't be a win for us. And dude, if they lose 2-0 in a wild card, it really is like,
that's bad.
What have we done? I think that's the right placement.
I mean, you spent all that money on Pete. You spent all the prospect capital on Shane Baz. You made a bunch of other moves in between, like Bassett and Helsley. Like, they're spending to make a deep playoff run.
I think that has affected my Boston Red Sox vote.
Really?
Because I think it's the same story.
Yeah, I think it is the same story.
A fan base that has great expectations for their team, if they walk into a wild card and lose again, they don't care.
Do the Tigers have to move up? Was I wrong?
It's a conversation.
I think they might have to
The
move
Tigers
up.
have very real expectations this year.
They were
last year of
hit
Scooble
away from making the CS.
And it feels like they don't fit in with the other teams.
It feels like they don't. I
If we're
think I
being
agree.
honest about it.
Yeah, I think I'm
Slide
down to
them
move
up,
him
babes. Look at
Makes it
that.
look better.
Detroit
Yeah.
has
Detroit goes up.
graduated. And we're a little more balanced.
I like that.
I like that. Yeah.
Let's rip the Band-Aid of Cleveland because
Mid.
Yep, thank you. Sorry.
I can't. I'm
Know
not
what?
doing this.
I will do this one time before
Fine.
the season.
You can do it.
Fans of the Cleveland Guardians, I'm sorry.
You deserve
I
better.
don't know if you understand how it feels from the outside world. I certainly don't understand how it feels from the inside world. Hey, man, maybe you guys can win the Central. You guys can go dancing. But from there,
No one's gonna pick him in a CS.
no one.
No one's gonna pick him, which sucks.
And there's such talent throughout the org. Hey, man, the fact they're with the A's and the Marlins, they are going to hate that.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Is Steven Kwan the guy traded at the deadline this year?
Maybe. Is there any adjusting you do with mid and 500 would be hype? Do any of those teams feel wrong? I don't think so. I think our meter is pretty accurate.
The only one that's been for me is that
You love the Rays.
no.
Okay.
I don't know if the Diamondbacks would be okay with that.
We could do a Marlins A's go down. Cleveland is the only mid team.
Whoa.
We could do that.
Whoa.
He's the mid.
I like it,
Cool.
Jolly.
Perfect.
I like
And I
it.
think that kind of almost places them as team 15, right? Doesn't it? That's 6. That's 8.
I think it's a little
Team
low.
18, but still. There is no direct mid.
The Cleveland problem is, like, they will be better than two of the teams in the row above them.
Yep. They might be better than all 4.
He could be. Were they last year?
They
I think
probably
they
were. Yeah, because
Yes,
they won the
they
Central.
were.
Yeah,
Yes.
so they definitely were.
It's hilarious.
It's awesome.
But I wouldn't rather be him.
Jolly, there is one team not
Ugh.
on our board, and who knows if we were
Ugh.
accidentally dodging them if we're not. The Houston Astros, the former dynasty.
God, I mean, they were a game away from making the playoffs last year. And whenever they get in, everyone just picks them to win.
This is easy.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it's win division series. Or
I think
fail.
you're right. It just feels like
that
a
fan
fat
base
tier.
doesn't care about
No.
going to a wild card, and that'd be awesome. No. They have Altuve and Correa.
That's so crazy. When's the last time before last year that the Astros didn't make the playoffs? Was it 2016? It was 2016. They made the playoffs 8 years in a row. They went 87 and 75. I think a second year in a row no playoffs gets scary,
Yeah.
but I think everyone in Houston, and honestly, I think most baseball fans too, are expecting them to be back involved in the playoffs this year. I think that's fair to say.
So, how many teams make the postseason nowadays?
12, 6 in each league.
So, at the top tier, we have Dodgers, Phillies, Toronto.
Toronto.
The Yankees, the Mariners, the Brewers, the
I
Tigres.
think those 7
That's
are locks,
7.
right?
I could poke holes at a couple teams. I'll choose not to right now.
Okay.
Cubs, Mets, Braves, Padres, Orioles, Red Sox, Houston. That's another 7.
Yeah.
So that would be 14.
2 of those teams are going to be sad. Possibly more.
And the row below would be sad.
Very sad.
Cleveland's a wrench in this whole thing, per usual, because they can casually win 87 games every year because they throw the ball and they play defense. And now I'm talking to a little puppy dog. Hi, little puppy.
I think this is it.
I think this is it. Of teams, I guess teams that scare me in both directions. The A's, if they can pitch. Like, I know that you were bringing that argument more than me.
Yeah.
Like, if DR Sevy is there and a couple of those young pitchers break out, like, that A's team can be formidable. Tampa, I just don't know. The division's weird, but again, If you put old school Tampa glasses on this team, you can see the vision. And then the Pirates, there is a path. It feels like a tighter rope, I guess, for you and me than I think some other people think.
I like that people are happy that the Pirates spend money because I think the Pirates should spend money.
I agree.
They missed out on all the guys that would have been better fits for their team. Like, I really wanted them to be like the Okamoto team. And they missed out on him. Like the Lau trade? I don't know.
What's his deal?
He's going to be really good, I think. He hit a ball like 450 feet.
Yeah, right.
Spring training.
Not sure about his power, and you're just like, oh, is that Okamoto to center?
Okay, that's the hardest hit ball of spring training.
Okay.
Okay.
We're not sure what position he's going to play. 2-time Gold Glover over there.
Oh.
Anyways. Okay, Jolly. Let's end the exercise with this.
Okay.
Let's make this hard.
Boy.
Upper 7 teams, Dodgers, Phillies, Toronto, Yankees, Mariners, Brewers, Tigers, which one do you think could hurt you the most / end up not in the playoffs?
Oh, God. I'm not doing the Brewers. They're going to make the playoffs. I'm not doing it. That's the bait. That's the easy way out.
Brewers are a little bit of bait.
I'm not going to do it.
You know ball, so you know it's not bait.
I think the Tigers are going to win the Central.
Like, baseball doesn't work like this.
Baseball
One of
doesn't
those
work like
teams,
this.
we would have said the Braves were as much of a lock to make the postseason last year as possible.
I think I'm going to cop out and say that I think I would bet money that all 7 of these teams make the playoffs.
You would lose money.
I disagree.
All right, well, place the bet, kid.
Handshake.
You need to Venmo me $30.
For what?
I Venmo'd you $30
for
a Mets
yeah.
ticket. So,
No, that's mine.
or maybe I'll go to that game.
That's for all the Wake and Jake free labor.
Nobody will like this. I think if I had to actually pick a team, unlike what Jolly just did, I would pick Toronto. It would be that they had a
disrespect.
It would be that they had a magical season last year, and that can happen in baseball. George Springer was out of his dome last year. What was that? I'm not saying I believe in it. I'm just saying if I had to bet on one of those teams, it would be
the team that
Toronto.
misses might be an 86 win team. It might be like an 87 win team, which is a good team.
It's a good team,
but they might not make it.
It's a good team
because last year an 87 win team didn't make the playoffs.
Also, like that, the AL East could be back this year. Baltimore, Boston can pitch.
I need to see it from Baltimore.
Maybe it's the
first.
Yankees.
People are sending Baltimore, I think, a little too quick.
Oh, okay. I like the way you sending there.
I got to see it.
Of the bottom teams, yeah, we already did this, I guess.
Cleveland Guardians, you want to play a game?
Let's play a game.
Cleveland Guardians record on September 2nd, 68-69.
Yeah.
So they went 20-5 to end the season.
Crazy.
That's so rude.
Oh, it's a weird, beautiful sport.
That's so rude.
Wow. I think we're here, people. A thank you to Jolly Olive.
It's over.
Go check out his YouTubes, all the other forums he's on.
Forums.
Third one. BBD producing his buns off through tier list season.
Captain.
We've made it, folks. Opening day is here. Hope your team wins, unless they're the San Francisco Giants.
Talkin Yanks.
Tomorrow. We're going to be streaming all opening day, the Yankees night game, and then we're just back in it. We're in the teeth of it. So thank you, guys. We love you. Share, subscribe, dance.
Forum.